There's no.
God damn it. That'll get your heart racing.
Done something terrible somewhere. Something so terrible. You? That all seems fine. What have you?
What did you break this time?
I did bad. But I know I can find the fix. I know I can find the fixes. Let me just check. Let me just check that the stream's going. Oh yeah, so it is. I've made a categorical error in. I deleted something, but not everything. Grab this. Control F. Find in files. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a browse. Desktop. What's in the desktop? TA3 minor faction, I think the folder is. Yeah, so.
No clue how my teammate missed that shot.
And what I'm looking for is. Oh, it's not there. Well, shit. Oh, hang on. Ah! You done sausaged up? I have, yeah.
So have I. Something is making my game run very slow.
That's definitely fine. First spawner. Or an effect attach type that I've left somewhere that I shouldn't have done. This seems okay. What has one done? Okay. Oh.
Have you figured it out?
I think so. Think so.
Proceeds to break it even more.
Possibly. I needed to put invalid somewhere and I had failed to do so.
I won't blame you if you do.
How's it going, Bernie? You good? Done sausaged up. Yeah, standard.
Wait, who killed my chicken?
There you go, it's fine now. I just forgot to put an invalid attach. All is well. Right, let's check out some of this sausagery.
Oh gosh, I have a tooth out of place.
You have a what now?
A tooth out of place.
In your head or in the computer game?
In my head.
Push it back in. You'll be alright.
Like when I clench my jaw, I can notice that it's not right.
Okay. Does it seem firmly locked into your gum?
Yes.
I mean, I'm British. Our teeth are fucked. Why, you know, we don't care. We just get on with it.
Ah, he disappeared.
Well, it's from all that chewing on stadium seats during football matches.
You're not wrong.
Hi, Riker.
Outside.
How are you? Two instances of sins running.
Oh my god. What were you doing?
Hang on. I don't know which one of these I should have closed. Phone call happening, which I'll answer at the moment.
Yes.
Close all of this. Close it all. Just close it. Close everything. All at once. I want to make sure my ability works. Best looking ships in Star Trek. Oh.
All of them. Nice team flash, jackass.
How's deving STA3 these days? Yeah, primarily good. By and large, all is well. I've now been able to complete most of the work that I wanted to complete. There was an error with dev mode in a previous version which was causing some problems.
You don't say.
That was dev mode itself, as opposed to anything that we'd done.
So it wasn't something that you broke.
Nope. Nope, I thought it was for a long time. But we sent STA3 to Blair, and he worked out that there was something going on with dev mode that it didn't like.
Oh, you... Oh, my God.
What's up, Fab? How you doing? I have to do strings and icons, Brian. It's going to be a long afternoon for me, I think. I'll do the strings first because I have a preference to those over icons. And then I'll have to do the icons, which are going to be horrible.
Sounds like you've done something terrible to your game.
In what regard?
Not to you.
Oh.
No. This is somebody who's done something in this game.
Ah, there's the obsidian order. Boys?
Well, yeah, that's because you're using everything more often.
Yeah. Oh, quickly. Use goodwill before you're brutally murdered by the turrets. Uh-oh. Haven't seen that error before. That's a concern.
What?
Oh, we've got some kind of horrific random stream error. And it's got something to do with either the Janissary
Or the colonel.
Or the colonel, indeed, yeah. It's something to do with random movement being initiated. Perfect. So we'll just get loads of these and hope one of these will do what must be done.
Oh my gosh. Turns out they all get wiped by an AoE ability.
Yeah, so I'll need to check the colonel's abilities out and indeed the obsidian order. It's got something to do with random movement being initiated, I suspect.
Fuck, not again. Every time.
I may have made another error.
I just noticed that. Did you give the same ability for friendlies and enemies?
Yeah. As it should be. But I think I may have given this a range. How bizarre. Definitely no range here, is there? There's no range specifically there.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can...
We cannot, Commander.
Oh yeah, it can only be used on. Oh, maybe that's the minimum range. It can't be minor factions. Let's use it on... What if it would allow me to use it on pirates? Oh yeah, yeah, so it will. Alright, so if we pop this... Yeah, that works. Good. What are you gonna do now, you disabled bastards?
Disables you in turn. Oh my gosh. I actually really like that model. But not when 8 of them show up at my planet trying to kill me.
Yep, excellent. So, that works. So this is an Obsidian Order minor faction ability, and you can basically choose any enemy targets with one of the abilities and disable their fleets for a brief period of time, which could give you the advantage in, or your allies, an advantage in any engagement that they are about to undergo. Pretty cool. Got a very long cooldown though. And it's relatively costly in the great scheme of things, so it's not something that you'll be able to use on a regular basis. Now the other ability, which is very, very similar, is against your allies.
My gosh. Shaking my head.
So what you can do, just based on the theory that you're playing a multiplayer match, you've temporarily allied yourself with somebody and allied victory is not on. You will now be able to click this and disable your allies' fleet as it goes into battle, thus weakening and hamstringing them before your ultimate betrayal. Magnificent, isn't it?
I think he's a little salty from the amount of times he's been betrayed, to be honest.
I'm usually the betrayer.
Oh. Well, I will definitely keep locked teams off then.
Indeed. In addition to that minor faction ability, we've got a couple more that I've been working on as well. Find section 31. Here they are.
Don't tell me they have the vengeance.
No, they do not. And they will not. You with a face. Let's grab this.
Dies. Oh wow. That is interesting. That skybox looks like fractures.
This.
Yeah, when you were zoomed in on the envoy, it looked like everything around it was fractured.
Oh, interesting. Right, so Section 31 now has another ability. They're all called the wrong thing at the moment, my apologies. So, anywhere in the galaxy, if it is a frigate or a cruiser or indeed a standard planetary module, you can now click on it, click on the enemy.
Well, that is the idea.
And that individual vessel ultimately will randomly explode because of a sleeper agent detonating the warp.
You mean a suicide bomber?
Sleeper agent.
Who goes down with the ship?
Oh yeah, very much so. He's an indoctrinated sleeper agent. These terrible things happen.
Yeah, an unfortunate accident.
And as the Tal Shiar, we haven't got an effect for this one yet, and I'm hoping I can strong arm Max into helping me out with that because I'm not very good with particle effects. With that Tal Shiar. Girl, where that Tal Shiar at?
Oh my gosh.
What? Ah, here they are. You've left Gold to his own devices for too long. He's set up backstabby abilities. What do you mean? What do you...
Why do you think I'm here keeping an eye on him?
Alright, so we've now got this one. We don't have enough resources at the moment. So let's cheat our way to victory. The autosave's done. Let's go to change player, and I think it's G and H gives us a load of stuff. Yeah, it does. Right, so we now have this ability, still called retrofitted armor here, but it is in fact a planetary Thaleron detonation. If we come over here, here's Legio Rator, and we pop the ability on this planet. Another sleeper agent, good lord, they're everywhere. He will detonate a series of Thaleron explosions on the planet. And what do we know about Thaleron energy? It done kill stuff.
You done killed stuff, laddie.
So it doesn't remove ownership of the planet. That's one thing that it doesn't do. You still maintain control of the planet if that happens, if this is used on you. What it does do is it kills your entire population and makes the population growth rate significantly slower, basically hamstringing you from a tax standpoint. Magnificent, isn't it? Hopefully we'll have some kind of green glow or blobbly blobbly on the planet, which will indicate what's happening and why it's happening. There you go, folks. Those are the new abilities for the espionage-focused minor factions. Hope you like them. I do indeed like them. If you don't, fuck you.
Ooh.
Because I'm not doing them again. I don't like it. And now comes the bane of my existence. Strings. We're going to need to do. That Telshar ability sounds Star Trek New Horizons inspired. It's more inspired by you know, the Star Trek film. Because you get that agent who does the Thaleron weapon against the Senate, don't you? And that's what it's inspired by.
Caesar's given a provisional yes for the match.
Excellent. Good, good.
Depending on how he feels and how tired he is. So
Unacceptable.
the last one is Max.
I think it's going to be a bit late for Max. I really do.
It'll be 1 in the morning for him.
Yeah, and he works a day job. Got to be up at like 6, so
Yeah.
I think he might struggle with it. Right, so what I now need to do is I need to go to M, or MF as the case may be. There they are. Here are all the MF abilities. Right click, show in notepad. And then we've got to change all this.
They are the faction unique. In other words, fuck yous. Do you think that they released this update so nobody could finish a mod officially?
No doubt.
I think they just love seeing everybody working together. And of course, as soon as a mod's finished, it kind of goes out the window.
We're doing
Still
it
being-
here is we're just setting up the capacity to in the right place. There we go. So who gives the armor improvement?
Nobody.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate.
That's going to make a difference to this strings, I suspect. Stream delay is a killer? Yeah, probably. Oh, it's the Borg Cooperative. So, given that it's the Borg Cooperative, go with
So, what's defending the Borg cooperative world?
bad things. Don't go there.
Surely not a cube. Because I know the majority of the minor factions have at least 2 capital ships defending them. So,
By and large, there's a cube and a tactical sphere.
how the fuck are you supposed to kill that?
Just by being good at the game. They're not actually as bad as you might think they are, because they don't have any of the buffs associated with the
True,
AI.
they don't have any buffs, and they're only what, level 1, so they have.
That's right. So
Still
they'll only be good.
40,000 health.
They'll only be as good as a player cube.
Have the measly 40,000 health instead of 90.
That's the one.
Gosh. It's still going to be impossible to kill. I mean,
the reason that I won't have that used against Capital Ship Centurion is because it would be unreasonably powerful. The Section 31 ability, it would be unreasonably powerful against a faction, say the Romulans, particularly. High-level cap ships are their bread and butter as a faction for victory. So just being able to kill one at the flick of a button.
I don't think any
It would be prohibitive.
mod I've played has done anything like that. The same goes for capturing capital ships. You know, that would be beyond OP. As Max would say, much OP-ness.
As always, Savol, I'm going to ignore the question. You know the deal when it comes to mods. We do this in our spare time.
Do I even have to ask?
Savol has a habit of, in every stream that we do, asking when we're going to release, which we just simply can't answer it. And we've told him many, many times that we simply can't answer it.
That's why he keeps asking.
Ah, I see. Well, that's fucking stupid, isn't it? Right.
Lovely.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Might test that out. Damn it, it was sunny and now all the clouds have come over. Somebody pinged you.
Oh no.
Even I could hear that.
Yeah, I thought that wasn't a ping.
Ah.
Probably just me hammering the keyboard.
Oh, I remember somebody asking the password to one of the match lobbies, and all they said was ask the leader. They bashed their head against the keyboard when they made the password. Finding a game to join. No, I don't want to play online. What?
Right, let's go with Bajoran defensive blockade. Scam.
You scum-ridden planet shaggers.
Oh, I need to change that, yeah.
Oh, please keep it.
Right, so... I don't know, Peace and Love Brigade? There you go. That's what the defensive blockade is going to be called, the Peace and Love Brigade.
So now I know who came up with the name for that.
I can't.
Yeah, now I know who came up with the name for that bloody. Oh, what was it? The Pirate Hunters or something? The Fed faction that we had against us in AOTF.
No, I don't think that was me. Surprisingly.
Very surprisingly. Ah. My Discord must not be connected with Origin. That needs to change. I think this is one game I wish I had friends that would be able to play with.
There we go. Bajoran vessels are dispatched to help defend the front lines of their allies. After all, who doesn't need cannon? Perfect.
Damn it.
I have a feeling that Orion's just going to be enraged with me.
You don't say.
Right, you're changing all these. Oh, damn it.
I know what I'm gonna do. Play one of probably my favourite game. Finally managed to get it back on PC. Bloody eater. What did you do?
I'm just stupid. Mostly.
No comment.
Alright, so Bajoran culture resistance.
So, for culture resistance, which of the factions has the best?
Klingons.
Klingons, okay. And which would be the Advent-like faction with the most effective culture?
most effective culture, I believe, currently belongs to the Federation.
Huh. I wouldn't have thought that. They were more like the tech.
Well,
Nice.
the Federation are most likely to spread their ideals of all the star races.
Of course, fair enough.
So their culture spread is a little bit better and more pervasive than anybody else's. Whereas other races seem to have a little bit more resistance than the Federation, because they're quite insular inward looking.
Yeah, they'll only listen to themselves and the feds can fuck off. Oh god, that's a cop.
What's up,
No,
Oscar?
you didn't see me.
Do I like the CNC games? Yes, I do. Most of them. I've got progressively worse at them as time's gone by, though. Like if I go back to like the old like Red Alert or something like that, I'm really not very good at it anymore.
Goodbye. Oh yay, now I gotta run away from cops. What did you do now?
Perfect.
Give me a second. I can't pause the game.
Oh,
So
I had to do a string for for Bajoran culture resistance, and the string reads, the description reads: "No one is able to ignore facts or propaganda as well as a Bajoran. We've invited them to teach seminars to our people about willful ignorance, increasing our resistance to enemy culture."
Oh, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
I'm so happy.
Oh wow.
Oh, Ryan's gonna be so mad.
It doesn't have to know until it's in the game.
You know these are gonna make it into the main game.
Oh yeah. I would not be surprised at all. Oh, now I
Hey,
can get
Starman,
in
how are
Armada.
you today?
Yeah, unfortunately, when I'm out on the road, I can't pause this game. That's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah, Max is absolutely right. The old RTS games were brutal compared to the modern ones.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably why I don't cope so well with them anymore. I'm just like, I'm a bit of a wet wilting flower compared to how I used to be at games. I've almost got to the point where I prefer turn-based, so I can sit down and have a think and a nice cup of tea between turns.
Takes them a day to do what anybody would take in an hour.
Yeah. Bernie Bear is now taking bets as to whether these strings actually stay in the game. It's MF ability, Bajoran skill. I did the first one reasonably. I just stuck with Bajoran.
Lamborghini Elemento. Perfect. Oh boy.
What?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tap back in game.
Why? What did I say? What did I do?
It's what I'm seeing. Sometimes I think you have way more fun modding than actually looking at the results. Yeah, get rigged. Oh, Jesus, that's a wall.
Perfect. Okay, right, so the Bajoran culture spread string. No race believes their own lies as convincingly as a Bajoran. While it may seem uncouth to more advanced races, it's hard to ignore the veracity of their beliefs. We've been able to tailor their special brand of populism to improve the rate that our propaganda spreads at.
Oh my gosh. Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, I'm having a good time with this. Right, sadly, all the Bajoran ones are done now, so I'm going to have to start behaving. Oh, Starman, it's been a pleasure having you. I always kind of just miss you a little bit, don't I, Starman? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. That's really, really nice of you. But I'll try and start streaming either earlier or later, just so you can actually watch a whole stream.
To force them to acknowledge your greatness.
Okay, I was wrong. That string screams. Gull wrote this. What do you mean?
Was that the one we did?
Espionage next, which is a more general one. Yeah, that was me thinking I wasn't going to enjoy. Something about that unrivaled passionate belief might be more neutral. No!
Just a little bit.
I will probably go back and change these, but for the time being, I'm amusing myself. Oh no, I've not missed the stream. Hey, Vasil. Haven't played that once of all. Is it any good?
Oh, what the hell? That's a wall.
Sure, I've spelled through out incorrectly. I'll do a spell check at some point. Oh, nice, yeah. Burrito Rome looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? Tiberius Twilight was meh. Okay, well, what did you think wasn't quite right with it? Espionage is done. I should have to take 2 minutes because I want to refill my coffee. Shan't be a moment, folks. We'll be right back. I have returned. My apologies for that brief delay there. Hello.
Bloody hell.
Okay, Wake Robert says, "Hey girl, good morning. I just wanted you to know that I'm now in the habit of describing my morning coffee as magnificent because of you. You're a trendsetter. Oh my, that's a first."
Never catch me doing that.
All coffee is magnificent throughout the day. I'll see you later, Starman. You have a good one. Ah, thank you, Bernie. Did that work for you? I think I made you a mod, didn't I? So you're able to do the thing that you need to do.
Ow, 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 ow. Away. Son of a bitch.
Once again, I'm having a fun time with my naming conventions.
I'm not even gonna look this time. Because I know it's gonna drive me insane.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh boy. Huh. Somebody's asking Hobbs if they can make the Sulaban space station rotate.
It's technically possible, yeah.
I think all space stations rotate. Well, I have seen them rotate. Well, if a Asari one moves, so obviously that one does. Wow.
What?
That wasn't very nice.
Oh.
I'm playing Need for Speed Rivals. Cop just thought it was funny to smash me into a wall.
There we go. Right. Working with our friends in the Meridor trading business, we've been able to procure the delicious supplies of the delicious beverage to ensure that our colonization celebrations go well. A happy side effect of this is that it increases impulse buying of goods and leads to a higher than normal birth rate during the early days of the colony. Perfection. And the string's name is MF_Drunken Randy.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
What do you reckon, Max? I reckon Max is going to support all of these choices I'm making.
Oh, of course he will.
He's as bad as I am. Okay, Riker, I'll see you shortly, my man. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was not a cigar. No.
Of course it is. Oh god, game froze.
Hmm.
They are, Fox. That's why you don't drive looking backwards. You hit something.
There you go. I think that's all right for a Hirogen hunting party. While we wouldn't describe the Hirogen as allies in the conventional sense, we can still quietly push them in useful directions. By suggesting a particular area for them to focus their hunts in, we may be able to capitalise on the chaos it causes.
Yeah, chaos.
That'll do, mate. God can't type for shit. It's true, Bernie. You'd think that would be an impediment to a coder, but no.
What's that?
The inability to actually type correctly.
Oh.
I'm sure Taylor's a real word.
Well, maybe in somebody's vocabulary.
No.
Son of a... Get out of the way, idiot.
No, it isn't at all. Just me going mad.
In other words, normal.
Apparently it does have various different pieces of conventional usage, but... oh, what am I doing? I suppose I can change it. There you go.
Right back up. You can have a wall. Yes.
I've lost what I was trying to do now. Oh yeah.
The hell? Oh, Jammer. That's what's...
Surprised nobody's gone nuts about me putting U's in all sorts of things.
Not yet. Console, reroute nearest hideout. Because I'm gonna need it.
Hmm.
Goodbye.
Oh, for God's sake.
What?
I just bloody can't type now. People complaining about the spelling of things has got me so rattled that I can't type straight. Um, that'll do. What's next?
Some more names.
Castle.
I was gonna say Kessel for a second.
Oh, Completed the Kessel run. Unit of distance.
What? I believe it was 12 parsecs. Well, I think they've fixed. What is it? The thing where those neutral fleets weren't spawning at their planets like Kessel. So we might have some of those in our game.
That's the correct spelling of defense, Farb. At least where I'm from. However, if it's defensive, that C becomes an S.
What?
Mm-hmm. In defense, it's CE at the end. In defensive, it would be an S. IV.
Oh, right. I thought you were saying it was the other way around. I'm like,
No.
since when does defensive have a C? I thought the English knew how to spell.
Right, this is Keswick's. Can go away. Grab this.
You can go in, you can go in, you can.
Copy and we paste
go.
this. Yeah. Put this one, yeah.
Kaput, ja, man.
It all be in Dutch. Hoogedy.
Then we'll all go mad.
I've always been surprised that nobody's approached us to do a language translation for Star Trek Armada.
Oh yeah. I don't think any mod has that.
You get a lot of mods out there that have localization translations, but we've never had an offer for Star Trek Armada 3, which is a bit sad.
Right. Yeah. But then again, I guess language isn't as important in the game, in a sense.
Admiral Saval is asking some interesting mod questions. He says, how do you feel about Brexit? I think it's fucking stupid.
Thankfully, that does not affect me, so I don't even have to worry about it.
Not really touchy to me. Like, the whole Brexit thing isn't a touchy subject. I think people voted the way they voted. The Leave vote won, but I think the current party in government didn't really make any inroads or make any effort whatsoever in order to negotiate the country's extrication from the EU for about 2 years, and now they're kind of. We're at the point now where it's happening in what a month, less than a month. Well, the whole Brexit thing is happening in less than a month, and we've just got nothing sorted out. So, if nothing else, I think it would be wise for our country to have an extension to Article, so we don't, so we don't fuck ourselves harder than we already have. Arguments can be made saying, "Oh, the country should have a final vote." This, that. Fine. I don't think I'm going to comment on that because I think different people are going to feel different ways about that. But ultimately, the key and critical failure is due to our government not starting the negotiation proceedings and coming to an agreement as to what must be done significantly earlier on in the process. In fact, I would go further and I would suggest that prior to even giving the people the vote, when it comes to whether Brexit was something that the people wanted or didn't want. They should already have preliminarily negotiated some form of deal, so we knew, as a nation, what would happen. Should we say yes to extricate ourselves from the European Union, or indeed should we say no, we want to remain in the European Union? But it's just been flimsy, really, really flimsy.
People don't want to make their bloody minds up.
And I think that's just simple fact. That doesn't reflect my own political opinion. There. Like, I haven't said, for a change, whether I'm pro-Brexit or anti-Brexit. What I have said is the government have handled it really, really poorly, and it puts us in a very unenviable situation as a country.
Yes.
There we go. So, regardless of whether you support or are in opposition to Brexit happening, I think we can probably all agree that it hasn't been handled very well. Admiral Savold, you are now asking me about Donald Trump. You said, do you like Trump? I don't know him. We've never met. Moving on.
You can't ask me that either. You could also say you can't comment because you're not American.
Indeed.
To which I can say the same thing. I gotta say, living over here, it's definitely a unique experience being from a different country, you know, and living in a different country.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I imagine it's changed your horizons quite a lot.
Yes. But figuratively and literally. But, yeah, you know, just the people, the atmosphere, how everything works, everybody's perception of you.
Do you tend to find that people have got an overall positive impression of you, or?
To be decided.
Okay.
But
you do feel that people view you as other, somehow different.
Oh, definitely.
That's interesting. That really is interesting, because
I think all I have to do is open my mouth, and I have actually seen some people I've talked to. Their expression completely changes as soon as I speak.
Interesting.
As soon as they realize, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, but you know, as soon as they realize I'm not American, and that I'm from very obviously from somewhere else.
Like from my, like I've got a third-party point of view going on, because of course I'm not from either your country or indeed from the United States, and I would probably say that as cultures go, your culture, by and large, it runs in relative parity with US culture. So, like, you know, there's no suggestion of your of the way you live your life being overly different from people in the US.
Yes, yeah, that's one of the similarities. But I've actually found there is, when it comes to the people, at least, there is quite a lot more differences than I thought there would be. You know, I mean, like, for example, the majority of my friends here are all the other international students, because the majority of older people, you know, they've lived a bit, they actually respect others. I get on really well, so, you know, I'll get on really well with all the staff here, security, just anybody older than, you know, say 25, 26. But all the college students, Americans, tend to turn their nose up at international students.
Fascinating.
So it's disappointing, because a few other people I've met and talked to, they think they own the bloody world, and anybody who's not American should either not be here or conform. So I tend to stay away from those types, but yeah, it's very, very interesting.
I'd love to. I'd really love to know how people view the people in the United Kingdom now and how they did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like as an outsider.
Yeah. I think now everybody judges countries by a few trigger words, so as soon as somebody mentions the UK, the first thing would probably be Brexit. Somebody mentions America, it's Trump. Somebody mentions New Zealand, it's Kiwi. Australia is kangaroos. Or Crocodile Dundee. But yeah, I've grown up, my high school, out of the 20 teachers we had, 17 of them were South African. So, and the majority of my school was from all over the place. So I've grown up with people from many different cultures all being in one place, and everybody respected each other. Everybody learned from each other, and I've noticed time and time again over here that's something they just don't want to do. Not people of my age anyway. And that's probably the thing that frustrates me the most about being over here, is nobody wants to understand. Even if they have the opportunity to understand.
That's a shame.
It really is.
I mean, I've never been fortunate enough to live in another country. It's something I'd really like to do at some point in my life. It's never been an option for me, unfortunately. And
yeah, well, 2 years ago I never would have dreamed of coming over here, and now I'm living here, so it's definitely some mornings I wake up and I wonder what the hell I'm doing here. The other half I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in a different country.
I think when I was in university, like just thinking back, I think we had pretty good relationships with most international students. Being relatively local to my university as I was, I felt like it was quite a good learning opportunity for me.
Oh yeah, the amount of cultures, the amount of different cultures you can learn. One of my best friend here, best friend here, she is from Georgia. So she speaks Georgian and Russian, so I'm slowly learning both of those languages off her. So, and I've got friends from China, Japan, all over the place. Just all those different cultures, you learn little bits and pieces. But it's sad when some of the Americans here are ashamed to be American because of the label.
Nobody should be ashamed to be American.
Nobody should be ashamed to be what they are.
No, absolutely not. That's something that I really, I feel should never ever be a factor. You shouldn't necessarily feel shame for the actions of other people.
Exactly, and unfortunately, that's the divide here.
Even more importantly, you shouldn't feel shame for the prevailing opinion of an outside source. You just shouldn't.
Exactly.
Like, America on the world stage it's a very powerful country. It is a world player in so many ways. That there's there are so many positives to being an American citizen.
Yeah.
But why would you feel shame for that?
No, and I've seen there's very few people in the middle. They're either on the side where, oh well, you don't like us, we don't like anybody else, we'll keep to ourselves, and then the other half is, we don't want this to be the way, and to be in that bracket is not wanted either. So
it's all swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? Ultimately, ultimately politics, by its very nature, it kind of runs in circles. So you'll have for most countries, you'll have this kind of very inward-looking insular period, and then it'll come around to the other side of the thing, and they'll be looking outwards. They'll be very willing to approach other nations, other cultures, and then, of course, something will have gone wrong in that outward-looking administration that is used as a trigger to move back to a much more inward-looking administration. So, at least in democratic countries.
Yeah.
So
the thing I've heard probably second most out of the usual "where are you from" or "are you Australian?" The thing I've heard second is just about everybody I've talked to has either been to New Zealand or wants to go there. And that's out of like hundreds and hundreds of people I've talked to. So that's interesting to see how this country views my country. You know, to have that many people, you know, want to go to your country either by hearing about it or, you know, just from their own discovery is pretty cool. Whereas, unfortunately, a majority of my friends that I've talked to back home wouldn't necessarily want to come here to America. So it's very, very unusual.
I can't really identify a country that I wouldn't like to go to for a limited amount of time, except for countries that would be unsafe for me.
Oh, obviously.
Of course, you know.
Yeah,
that kind of goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Going and staying in a war zone for an extended period is probably not a very good idea. As an example.
Yeah, like, you know, my mum has travelled just about every single country on the planet. But that was over 30 years ago. You know, back then, just about everywhere was still fairly safe. You know, and you could go away for extended periods of time. Obviously, you know, there were still countries you don't go by yourself, but the world was a lot safer back then than it is now. I think the only place she didn't end up going to was South America, because at the time they had a busload of tourists killed.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they shut down the continent for all international flights.
As I say, Max, countries that are inherently unsafe. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
So
Wouldn't
likes
necessarily
of-
be somewhere that I would want to go.
you wouldn't want to go to like Afghanistan or something like that.
Probably not, no. Was it safe, however, I would be quite interested to go there.
Yeah. And again,
because I
Australia,
think,
just about everything there wants to kill you, including the people.
Yeah, just to kind of like I'm interested in prevailing cultural differences, the way that people live their lives, particularly regionally, and I find that fascinating. But you know, obviously, there comes a point where if there's an inherent danger to you, you don't want to go and see that, because you know,
Ooh, shiny!
you're not going to learn anything if you're dead.
No, unfortunately not.
You come to Canada, you might want to hold off a little. It's a little chilly. I don't mind the cold.
Oh yeah, I've dealt with cold very well right now. I've got my I got my window wide open.
Orion says half the Australians have either been to or want to travel to New Zealand. The other half want to conquer them.
You're not wrong. That's one thing I love about New Zealand's relationship with Australia. I think we're the only, well, with maybe the exception of the US and Canada, but New Zealand and Australians have a free pass to be as racist to one another as they want without getting in trouble. So
Max is taking the piss out of my country. I'm not happy about this.
how did he get his ass in here?
Listen, buddy boy. He's at work at the moment.
Oh.
Apparently giving me Jip is his day job.
Well, then he's doing his job very well, isn't he?
Somebody want to give me some kind of weapon jargon from Star Trek?
Boom.
No. Honestly, something like a, you know,
Pew pew. Oh wait, that's Star Wars.
what are they called? Like, crystal focuses or whatever.
What the hell?
I don't know. That's Star Wars.
Load the human cannons. Seems like something the Klingons would do. Yeah. Or go to sleep. Oh no, I can't. I gotta. Well, don't have to, but I want to. Playing Resident Evil 2 tonight.
Sock. Emitter coils, yes. Thank you to Wake.
Marvelous.
Although that only works for energy weapons, but do you know what? We'll leave it. I can't. My brain's turned into mush. It's happened.
That is unfortunate.
It's all weapons are iron, unfortunately. Kessock targeting systems, why not?
Yeah, that works. Gosh, there's a little indent in my hair where I've had my headset on. Look. Bad idea to stretch. Oh God. I'm now looking to forward to this day significantly less.
Why is this?
I just realized today is like some high school convention. Something like that.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, which means there's gonna be like 400 or 500 high school kids running around now.
Oh, you'll love it. Be fine. Just get a cattle prod.
Tell you what, security actually suggested that to me. They said obviously they can't do it because they'd lose their jobs, but they'd turn a blind eye if some students hit them. Gosh, that would be funny. Looks like I need to go defend my game room. Actually, that's just reminded me. I have noticed that a lot of them, if you're good at something, the majority of them are actually very... Like, there's only a couple that would be, like, very envious or pissed off at that. Majority of them are actually very respectful of it.
Okay.
That's interesting. Gorn welcome party. I'm guessing.
Yes?
I have an idea of what it is, but knowing you, it's probably going to be something whack.
No, it's actually a positive. I'll go on.
Reinforcements.
No, I'll go on our Meridor traders,
Right.
which is a type of booze. So,
Oh, that's right. I remember you explained that one. That's right. Population go fucking stupid and multiply like Catholic rabbits.
That's the one. SDA 3 question for you guys. I was playing the Cardassian Union last night, and my major choke point was at an asteroid belt. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what Cardi ship captures. Metal asteroids is, I presume, what you was. You are looking for the Norin or the Tonga, one of the two. I think
It was the Tonga. It was the Tonga. Tonga, not Tonga.
Tonga!
Tonga, Tonga.
Tonga.
Look at how. Does that sound like a turkey?
Tonga.
Go, go, go. Just read the beta chat.
Oh no, what's happening?
I'm sure the Federation starbase used to rotate in Armada 3. That's why it used to be at all funky angles, and then Hobbs just said, oh fuck that then. Somebody asked him if he could make the starbase rotate. So... Oh boy. Ow, shit. Granddad Mongrist. I blame you anyway on principle. Fucking hell.
Harumph.
Yeah, well, Interregnum always blames everything on me because I play as many pranks on them.
Rightly so.
So don't be surprised if I do something to Donos on Thursday. This stream came up as the very first on my list of videos for YouTube.
Clayton says, you're funny. I think he's talking to you.
Oh, me.
Thanks, Clayton.
Just a Cardassian.
Mr. Geopap, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. I seriously can't wait to see the Nausicaan Wa in game. All I can imagine is them sprouting big tusks and getting crude battle axes and armor as they charge enemy lines. It's a fun ability and quite useful.
Oh my gosh.
Might finish this one and show you what it does.
Oh boy.
Doesn't do anything like, you know,
What it,
unbalanced.
what it does or what it doesn't.
Doesn't do anything unbalanced. It's fine.
Doesn't do anything.
Everything's fine.
Hashtag working as intended.
It's too late now, 'cause I'm growing old. But I
There you go. So for the Maquis raid, I've said the Maquis continually struggle to supply their meagre ranks and are often desperate for soft targets that allow them to procure materials. By spreading rumours of such targets, we're able to direct their raids to a system of our choice. That'll do.
As in, set them on some poor bastard who's doing nothing.
Yep, some poor innocent, yep. 12288. That can't be right. Maybe it is right. Bloody hell. That's a lot of fucking strings. There's a lot of strings. 1,000 strings. Jeepers creepers. Good night, Bob. Have you guys ever thought about adding a second Titan ship for the factions that don't have one down the road? No, I don't think that's something that we'll be doing. Most factions do have two Titan variants now. Only the Borg don't. Yeah, Romulans have got two, Klingons have got two, Federation has got two, the Dominion Alliance, well, you can either have one or the other, can't you? So it's got two. Yeah, everybody bar the Borg has got two. In an ideal world, this will be the last version of Star Trek Armada 3. However, we will continue to support it and ensure that it works with any future versions of since. We may not add anything new to the game after this, even if there is another DLC, unless it's something really exciting. I'll never say never, but I think it's very unlikely that we will continue any active form of development. This has already taken so much of my time.
Decides to break the fucking game again.
This has already taken so much of my time that could have been potentially better spent on Ages of the Federation. That, yeah, it's just one of those things, I suppose.
That's the last comment. It would be such a shame if it were to update it again. I think he'd have all the modders after him.
More than likely. Well, the Romulans have the singularity device that they had in Armada 2? Want to say Armada 2. Very much like the Klingon shockwave ship. Okay, what was I wanting to look at? Oh, the Norskins, yeah.
Acknowledge, Starfleet. Standing by. We are Klingons. Let us get to work.
Right, there we go. Right, so we've got this bad boy, which is called currently called Relentless Evangelists. But this is the ability for the Nausicaa. Wow.
Oh god.
And what it effectively does is it spits out several waves of Nausicaa vessels that go and attack random targets. So there's number one. They're not very big attacks. They're more probing and or irritating attacks. Until you get to the high levels. There's another one. Going for another target. There's another one that's going for another target.
Ready to build.
There's some more. So it spawns a load of mini raids. They're just going for a fight, really. It's not. Not a directed target on your part. It's just sowing chaos, which is potentially quite a benefit for your people. Well, there you go. That's what that particular ability. Let's take a look at, say, our Bajoran abilities and make. Yep, that's worked. That's worked. And that's worked also. Who else have we already done? I don't think we've done either of those. Covert espionage. Yep, our allies. Yep, that's worked. Kessock. Thrust and Kessock targeting systems. Oh, I'm going to have to make that smaller because it's going over the edge. How annoying. Maquis. Defensive raid. Oh, that's something I still need to change. Stolen tactical schematic. Ah, bollocks! I need to make that.
Reinforcements have arrived.
I'm going to need to change these, some of these a little bit. Trojan. I think we've done that. Ugh. But by and large, this is all working. Very good. God, the God, Jesus. I was about to have a real bad day. Hey Jay, I'm okay, thank you, man. How about yourself? Damn you, autosaves. This is the class that lets you capture things.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Have I ever played Civilization 5? Yeah, a long time ago, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely something to do with one of these capital ships. I'll have to have a look at that and see what that error is. Grab it. We'll put it into our Armada 3. It broke.
Electric Bungaloo.
Nah, that's the other one. It broke STA through. There we go. All right. Oh, my other TV's turned off. That's probably going to continually cause errors now.
Isn't that usually the case?
I could just press skip all and it'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Hashtag working as intended.
Intended as working. Oh, okay. First thing is, these guys are just passing through. This isn't even the target. Although this does give me a good opportunity to check whether the minor factions rebuild their fleets / stations.
Yeah, that's always something to check. Because I've noticed some minor factions will and some won't.
Let's just speed the game up a little bit and let this all happen. Because this will actually tell me whether I need a specific player file for the minor factions. I'm hoping I don't, because I don't want to have to do the work. There goes the colonel. Yes. And yes, they do rebuild their stuff. Do they, for example, rebuild their repair bay? Oh, I'm sure they do. Based on the fact that they rebuild their ships, I imagine they do. Yep, okay. That seems all well and good. How long have I been live for now? Oh, nearly 2 hours. I think that's going to be it for this stream. Yeah, getting towards.
Gosh.
Yeah, so
Streams keep ending up like that, eh?
Oh, they do. Yeah, I've as you can see, I've only done about a third of these, if that, maybe even a quarter. Got a lot more to do. Got to go through all of these, sort the strings out, and then I also need to do some Pikachus for them.
And this poor sod has to test it all.
Yeah, and what we've got for the iconography, if I just open this up before I leave.
Oh, shit. What's the time? Oh gosh, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning.
So, fortunately for me, what Hobbs has done is he's created this little sausage down here for me, which, as you can see, is put into parts in a PSD. And it means I can copy this entire segment and paste it as many times as I need in order to make iconography. And I basically just need to put something in the middle there that it defines it properly.
Right. See?
So it shouldn't be too difficult for me to make the iconography. I'm not going to like it by any stretch of the imagination, but it is necessary in order to give them reasonable icons that give you some kind of minor indication as to what they're doing. Part 2 of what, Jay? Oh, I missed.
No clue. Part 2. I'm guessing part 2 of this stream.
Oh god, I need to do more? Ah, Jesus. I'll probably do...
Never satisfied, eh?
I'll probably do most of the remainder of this work off screen now and then. I expect my next STA3 related stream is going to be gameplay.
Or is there going to be more Resident Evil?
Oh, that Resident Evil first person mod is just super duper cool. Anyway, but yes, I expect the next STA3 content that you get is going to be some form of gameplay. So it'll be probably testing on my part.
Well, if you do that, then I'm always here.
It's right now. It has to be single player because I need to wait for 1.94 to drop to main.
Oh, of course, multiplayer's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and the reason I'm waiting for 1.94 to drop to main before any release is by virtue of the fact that there's something broken in 1.93, which causes unexplained CTDs.
Yeah,
it's
well,
fixed in 1.94.
Send me a copy and we can test it out at the same time.
Could do.
So, like, if you get certain errors, I could see if I get the same ones. Along those lines.
Do it with Shaq, says Jay. Well, that's going to be down to Shaq, whether he wants to or not. I did briefly speak with Shaq the other day. Because
before or after his defeat to the...
after. I think he said during the stream or the VOD, depending on which you've watched, that he would want to do multiplayer STA3 in the future, and I messaged him to suggest that he might want to hold off for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, while I get this version finished.
And while they get ready to release 1.94.
I don't think 1.94 is too far off now.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Blair was saying in the early hours of this morning or yesterday, there was one error that he was concerned about, which was something to do with the Galaxy Forge. So maps created in the Galaxy Forge in 1.94 were very, very occasionally crashing, and he didn't know the cause. But he noted that he was able to replicate the problem last night, and he was working on a fix for it. So as soon as that fix is...
So,
tested.
Could
He
could
might well be
theoretically be
ready.
out by end of this week.
It's plausible, yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, folks, it has been an absolute pleasure doing this stream for you all, and I will see you, hopefully, in the next one. Bye-bye, folks. Thank you for joining me, guys.
See you guys.